we have Frolin Marek here. Frolin, how are you?
Interesting day so far. Hello from outside of San Antonio, Texas, folks.
Wow. Welcome. I was just thinking about you the other day, thinking about emailing you. Hey, can you introduce yourself to the group?
I'm with Bob.
You
I'm
are?
still with Marek. I'm outside of San Antonio, Texas. I've been model railroading for many years, like most folks. My ties to the narrow gauge side of it is when I was 8 or 9 years old, my dad went hunting in this place called Pagosa Springs, wanted to go elk hunting, and 3 years worth of doing that. Twice I went with him. He never shot one of them big funny cows. But along the way, we stopped at this weird T intersection in the road in this little town called Chama, and I got to see trains. So I grew up modeling Southern Pacific and HO scale with this weird feeling that I was missing something, and I figured out I found trestles and tunnels and mountains and steam and all that in Colorado. So I got into modeling and narrow gauge, and along those lines here some 35 years ago, when I got back into modeling and narrow gauge and switched from HO, I got into 22.5, the correct reference for G scale, not big stuff, but 22.5. I started Garden Railroad Club in San Antonio in 91, and after about 4 years concluded, like a lot of folks, it's too dang hot outside. So I went back indoors. So I've been modeling indoors. Some of you have maybe stumbled across my name here or there. I've been involved in several things. I did several of the SN3 symposiums when they start going from pages to websites, and worked on a couple of the narrow gauge events. I just got asked about another one of the big narrow gauge museums if I do their website, and I'm going, I got too much stuff. I'm trying to build a railroad after moving 2 years ago here. I get up yard direction periodically. I've written several magazine articles in the past on Colorado narrow gauge and other narrow gauge railroading activities. So that just kind of gets my back door. So whenever I talked with Eric years ago about visiting and some such, and then he found out he's the division guy, I do a lot of Zoom things, and I started the railroad get-togethers down around the San Antonio area, and got that going up until we got a division rep to finally start doing stuff down this way. So I try to see what else is going on, especially if it's get-togethers with folks like you guys, and if it's narrow gauge. And today just happened to be a day that I was able to attend.
Welcome. Well, good to see you. And I have to say, Frolin puts on a great show at the meetings. At his meetings are well done, and boy, you had it like hybrid Zoom and with multiple cameras and all kinds of little short intermediate videos that you would play, and yeah, well done. Way to go.
I was one of those crazy people who've been doing computers before some people heard the term PC. And when it came into COVID kicking in things, I was already playing with virtual stuff. So I started doing Zoom sessions and hosting a handful of them and that kind of weird stuff. So hey, I can give you all you go to the movie theater, and when you go to the movie theater, you get to see trailers. So why don't we turn around and take a look at a trailer for an upcoming video?
We've paid for that bridge and we're going to collect.
We're going to fly 35,000 men 300 miles and drop them behind enemy lines. It'll be the largest airborne operation ever mounted. Quite frankly, this kind of thing's never been attempted before. We shall seize the bridges, it's all a question of bridges, with thunderclap surprise, and hold them until they can be secured. And we go next Sunday.
7 days.
The sooner we go, the better. We've got them on the run.
Joseph E. Levine presents A Bridge Too Far.
The plan is called Operation Market Garden. Market is the airborne element, and Garden the ground forces. I like to think of this as one of those American Western films. We, my friends, are the cavalry on the way to the rescue.
A Bridge Too Far. Starring Dirk Bogarde, James Caan, Michael Caine, Sean Connery,
Frolin Marek of Marek Mountain Guide Service.
Gene Hackman, Anthony Hopkins,
The river's wide and that the current is strong. And as any more cheery information comes my way, I'll just be too happy to pass it along. In the meantime, just think of this as on-the-job training.
2 days, they said. We've been here 9.
Well, as you'll know, I've always thought that we tried to go a bridge too far.
Hi, this is Frolin Marek on the Cumbers and Taltic Scenic Railroad. It's Saturday afternoon, October 26th of 2016, and I'm out here at Cascade Trestle, waiting for a train to come, which looks like is kind of off in distance coming. That's what I also had to travel to get here, and the river down here is what I had to cross to get up here to go to the Trestle. Well, let's get ready for some video. Hopefully this will give you all a perspective of the Cumbers and Taltic and Cascade Trestle that you normally don't see. My motto is you can't take really good pictures of the train when you're riding it. 2016, I hiked in, drove up to Osier, parked and hiked the 2 miles in, crossed the river, which may not be too ferocious, but let me assure you, even in August, the melted snow in Colorado is still very cold water. The whole goal was actually because I was chasing the 315 special that had the 2 RGS geese on it that day out there. Unfortunately, the weather was not the most fondant. And if you're a model railroader and you painted that boring, dull blue background sky with a light gray tint, I would swear that's what Mother Nature gave me every time I needed to do a photo scene. Because that's what you have behind the bridge there in most of my pictures and videos. Going, it's doing what? The 315 special, there's another perspective angle. The 315 special that year was a mixed freight, and they did pick up the pile driver. I think they got it at Osier that day. But that's my share. One of these days y'all get bored, I put together a clinic about 25 minutes on my travels to go to Cascade Trestle back in 2016. The venture there was to go up for the 315 special. I had tickets on the train, and then because of some family matters, it all got canceled. And then ironically, as it says there, you've got 7 days. 7 days out, I changed my mind. 5 days out, I committed to going again, and nobody knew I was there. And let me assure you, it's kind of interesting to be sitting there on the rocks across the river from Cascade Trestle and realize when you go to send that selfie picture to all your friends going, guess where I am? I changed my mind. And you realize I haven't had cell service most of the day, and I definitely don't have any over here. So it was my fun trip that year.
Well, that was good. And Martin, did you notice the left-hand side of that trestle, or not but the ground where they have cut out the mountain, and the waste from what they cut out is then below the track level? I mean, that would be something you can do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frolin. That was fun. And I heard it's quite the hike down in where you were. It's pretty good hike into there.
It's a little bit to get there. It definitely, if you're not good on your feet, if you have any walking limitations or impairments, you're not going to do that one. It's all a rough road going back, forth, up and down there to get into it. And let's see here. Maybe to answer your question, I think if that came up right, you're talking about there's the bridge. I got some pictures whenever I was standing there and there was nothing else going on. You know how it is. The weather's always great when the train's not there. But yes, this is over here, doesn't look too bad. But when you take a look at this over here, this is more of some of the other terrain. Hopefully that mouse is showing there. That's sometimes what you end up kind of dealing with. Well, but there's another photo of the train and the two geese. And that, there you go. It looks like it's pretty simple to go down there, but it's a little rough. And the old toll road goes down there, which has got a lot of rocks and debris that have run off over the last 100 or so years. So it's not exactly a walkable road there either. You're walking over rock, bricks, big chunks and things like that. So, and then crossing the river is always kind of fun. When I did this back in '96, I fell in. My butt was very cold and the camera gear got really wet. So pulling apart a Nikon 35mm to get the water out of the inside was always fun during a Colorado trip. But no, there's the daily passenger. Just as a first, let's see if I got that in there. No, it's not in there. So anyway, okay.
So you have to walk down the track to get there and then go down.
The route that I chose is I walked about a mile. It's just about 2 miles from Osier Station, and you can't cut across. You have to follow around the curves around of Osier because of the road. The ravine starts off there, but you go around you follow the track for about the first mile plus, and then you kind of, what I did is I angle off on the side of the mountain at an angle so that I'm not going straight down the side. About a mile and a quarter out, angled down the side until I got down to a place near the bridge where when it rains, it floods under Cascade Creek into the Pinos, and found a spot there that I could cross. And there's a spot with a little island. I chose that because at that time it was about 2 foot, 1 to 2 foot deep in places, and being wider, the same amount of water mass. If you ever got across a creek or river, in many cases, sometimes if it's wider, it's shallower. The same amount of water. So if you find a narrow crossing, sometimes that's deeper. That still doesn't rule out holes that you're going to step into or things you're going to trip over.
Fun times. Yeah, the light didn't cooperate, did it?
Yeah. Every time I try to take a picture of the bridge with the train there, it just seemed like it was that typical, you know how we get the gray blue sky background on there, and there's like no clouds, no nothing. And
darn it.
I wasn't there. I got some decent pictures of the bridge, and I had a telephoto lens, so that made it more fun. And believe it or not, the one color video came from a cheap, well, I won't say cheap, but you think about your old early digital point and shoot cameras on video mode.
Oh yeah.
So you just never know. I had 3 different cameras running at one time, a camcorder. I had like a GoPro pocket camera I use on my layout. Actually, I think that's where it came from. And I had my other camera, plus actually my cell phone, I was taking pictures. So one person running 4 cameras, plus the Nikon.
Yeah, you're a multitasker.
Now you set up 3 cameras, you hit record, you step back, leave them alone, and you get home and figure out which one just got the better quality at the end of it.
Oh, well, thank you.